welcome back to my channel. Before I start, I need to apologize for like the ridiculous mess behind me. You guys know Jeff and I are moving, so things are packed up and everything is in disarray because moving. Not my favorite thing to do. But today I wanted to do a video about Booktube, starting a Booktube channel or starting a YouTube channel. I get questions about this kind of stuff all the time, so I thought that I would just sit down and film a video kind of revolving around Booktube and what it means to start a channel and how to start a channel and some tips and some advice and things like that. So basically, I started Booktube probably 2 years ago. For anybody who doesn't know, Jeff and I had another channel before we had this one, and I had some issues on the back end of my old channel, so I had to switch to this one and start from scratch. So I think I was at about around almost 3,000 subscribers, if not more, I can't remember, on my last channel, and then I had to stop and start all over again. A lot of people were wondering what the issue was, and basically I had messed up my account in terms of AdSense. So if you don't know what AdSense is how you get paid to make YouTube videos. Anybody can sign up for AdSense. If you have a YouTube channel, if you're a content creator, then you can set up an AdSense account, and essentially what that means is you get paid to do your videos. Now, you don't get paid a lot. I don't get paid very much money to do videos or anything like that. If you are one of the people out there who have millions of subscribers, then you're obviously going to get paid a lot more. The amount that you're paid is based off of how many likes you get, how many views you get, and how many subscribers you get. And you'll notice those who have AdSense accounts set up are the people who have ads in their videos. So whether it comes down in the little box here, it'd be really funny if right now there was one here. Anyways, or at the beginning of a video or at the end of the video. So if you happen to click on one of the ads that pops up, say in my video, then I would get a very small percentage of money because you clicked on that ad. One thing is though, you are absolutely not allowed to click on your own ads, so I couldn't go to my videos and click on all the ads and everything like that to make myself get more money. You're not allowed to do that. YouTube takes that very seriously and they will like shut you down pretty quickly. So that's kind of one aspect of YouTube that I think a lot of people maybe don't really talk about as much because people get a little uncomfortable talking about how you get paid. But you can get paid to make videos, but I'll just let you know right now, it's not that much money. And then AdSense has a $100 threshold, so every time you reach $100, then you get paid out. So you set that all up when you start your YouTube channel, and I recommend starting that up right away so you know that you're doing it right and everything, because that was the issue with my old channel, is that I messed up the AdSense account, so I had to start a new one. But that's okay, because this channel, I feel like it was a whole new start, and I'm really actually happy that we started the new channel because we got like the link that we wanted and the name that we wanted, everything like that. Setting up a YouTube channel can be very intimidating, but if you have the urge to start making videos, to set up a Booktube channel or a YouTube channel of any kind, and you think, oh, I'm gonna be so awkward and I'm gonna be so like nervous all the time, I just have to say, like, yeah, you are. But we all were. Like, if you look back to like my very first videos, it's so incredibly awkward. I can't even tell you, but you get used to it. You get used to talking to a camera. You get used to editing. A lot of times when people first start YouTube, they will just kind of like upload a video and they won't edit it, and you're like, oh, it's so awkward. But when you edit it, then it makes it seem like it's not so awkward, because you don't even want to know how many times I mess up what I'm saying, or I take long awkward pauses, or I'm chasing the animals or something like that, and that all just gets cut out of the video. Very, very easy. So I guess let's move on then to editing. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, then you need to make sure that you have some kind of editing software on your computer. I personally use iMovie because it came with my MacBook. You can also use Final Cut Pro, which are quite expensive, and I don't know what comes on a PC, but Macs come with iMovie and it's free and it's extremely easy to use. So just play around with it a bit until you can kind of figure out what editing style you would like. I do recommend editing your videos. It just makes them a lot easier to watch, a lot more enjoyable, and you could do really cool things. One of my goals for this year is that I want to start playing with my editing a bit more, because I don't really do anything that fancy with my videos, but I would like to start kind of like doing some cool effects. Cue effect. I don't know. So I'm going to try and start doing stuff like that, but you definitely need an editing program, and YouTube does also offer an editing program, so if you can edit your videos right on YouTube. So there's always a way to edit, and I definitely think that that's a really important thing to do if you want your videos to be a bit more watchable. Next thing I want to talk about are cameras. So when I first started my Booktube channel, I was filming just on my MacBook, and I was using photo booth to film. A lot of people will film with their iPhones because they do have HD filming, and I think that's perfectly okay, and I think that you shouldn't go out and buy a really expensive camera if you're just starting to make videos. Test it out for a while, see if you enjoy making videos, and if you do, then I would invest in a good camera. Right now I film on the EOS Rebel T3i from Canon, and I love it. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have autofocus. So for example, if I come out here, I'm blurry, so I kind of need to sit like, now I'm blurry again, oh my god. So you just kind of need to figure out where you are, but it's not a huge deal. But you can get cameras that do have the autofocus, so it's totally up to you. I think that the Rebel T3i from Canon is a perfect starting camera if you're not used to DSLRs, because there's a lot to learn, and I still don't know like 90% of how to use it, but I do know how to film a video, so we're good to go. You don't need an expensive camera, but if you are planning on, you know, being on YouTube for a while, maybe you would like to invest in a good camera. Plus it's nice to have. I took mine to New York. I love my camera. It's so nice. The next thing I wanted to talk about is content. So for YouTube videos, I mean, a lot of people say that you need to kind of like choose a niche. So for example, like I have 2 YouTube channels. For this one that you're watching right here, I talk about books. So books are kind of like my niche, and that's how we're in the Booktube community. I also have a beauty channel, so obviously that's in the beauty community. And then there's like a comedy community. There's like a just personal lifestyle community, or like there's something for everyone, video games, everything. You don't necessarily need to choose a niche. You do not, like, I don't make strictly book videos on this channel, but the majority of my videos are related to books. I just think that it kind of helps draw in your audience. For example, I used to put both my beauty videos and my book videos on this channel, and I know a lot of people didn't want to see the beauty videos, which was totally fine, and most people are okay with it. They'll just skip that video, but it did bother some people, so I eventually did separate my channels. Oh, I forgot, I also have a 3rd channel which is for baking, but I rarely use that one. I used to use it more. I think that it is kind of good to choose a niche, but don't feel limited by the niche that you're picking. If you want to make a beauty channel that's mostly beauty videos, but you still want to do book reviews and you still want to do videos about video games or movie reviews, then I think that's totally fine, and same for every other genre. But I think it all has to do with branding. So if you're branding yourself as a beauty channel, then you have to make sure that you're doing, I think, probably majority beauty, or same with books. Then people are going to expect you to, I guess, do a lot of book videos, but always feel free to do any videos you want. Another thing is with content of your videos, I think it's completely up to you the videos you want to do. There's a lot of people, especially in Booktube, who are getting really, I think, annoyed that most people are doing like book hauls and they're doing wrap-ups and TBRs and stuff like that, but I think if that's all you want to do, that's fine. Like, those are very popular videos to do, and if that's what you're comfortable with, great. You don't have to do book reviews, you don't have to do tag videos or discussion videos. Just make sure that you're doing something that you're comfortable with. If you aren't comfortable doing a book review, like it makes you like you don't want to do it because you don't want to offend the author, or you don't want to put the time and effort into a book review, then don't do it. You definitely don't need to. So just kind of do whatever makes you comfortable, whatever makes you happy. It's your channel, it's your content. You go, girl or boy. The next thing I want to talk about is like specific to Booktube, and that is once you start a Booktube channel and your popularity starts to rise a little bit, you're gonna get contacted a lot by authors to read and review books. I've said this in other videos before, but if I could give you one piece of advice when starting a Booktube channel, is do not accept every book that an author wants to send you. Number 1, you're probably not going to read most of those books. Number 2, you're probably not going to enjoy some of the ones that you read. And number 3, if you don't read them, then you're kind of taking a book that costs that author money and you're not reviewing it, you're not doing anything with it. And I know when you first start out Booktube, it's really exciting to be receiving all these free books, because I was guilty of that. I took books from everyone, like, yes, send me your book, I'd love to read it. And then the majority of those books I never read, because once I either started to read them, I realized, like, I don't really like this book, or I don't really want to read it. I didn't even look to see what any of the books were about before they sent me the books. So I think it's really important, if you are planning on reading and reviewing books, that you formulate a review policy. I have a review policy on Jeff and I's website. We each have one, and it just kind of specifies exactly like what types of books you're interested in, who you accept books from. So for example, Jeff and I will only accept books from publishers. I don't accept books from independent authors anymore, just because it gets to be a bit too much. What genre and things like that. So you can put that right in your YouTube description box, or if you have a blog, put it on your blog. And if an author or somebody contacts you, send them your review policy and then say, if your book fits this policy, then I would like to read it. But always read a synopsis of the books. Check out some other reviews to see if it's something that you might enjoy, but definitely just don't accept everything that's offered to you, because realistically you're probably not going to read most of those books, or at least I didn't. And now I feel really bad because I have a lot of review books that I've just never read. And sometimes people will send you books that you don't ask for, and there's nothing you can really do about that. So I mean, that's their decision. If you said you didn't want the book, or you didn't say anything and they still sent it to you, then that's on them, that's not on you. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But I do think that's one of the big things that I wish somebody had told me when I first started, because now I just feel like guilty for taking all these books and never reading them. Burp. Another piece of advice that I can give that I need to personally even work on more myself is to be really active in the community. I personally try and comment back to everyone who comments on my videos. It can get a little difficult to keep up with it, especially when you start getting more subscribers and more comments, but as much as you can, always try and respond back, even if it's just a thank you, because I think people really connect with that. And sometimes like I will just sit down and I will go through like 5 videos and I will just sit there and I will respond to every single comment. It's only realistic to be able to do that for a certain amount of comments and for a certain amount of time, but while you can, definitely do it, because it really develops like a nice connection between you and your viewers. Another thing is to be active in social media. We have a Facebook page, I have Twitter, Instagram, Sublime, Goodreads, and Jeff and I are very active on Goodreads. Post all of our reviews on there. I'm quite active on Instagram. All of my videos go to Twitter. However, I'm really bad at Twitter and Facebook. Like every now and then I'll tweet and I try to respond to everyone who tweets me, but when it comes to like continuously, like every day sending out a tweet, I don't really do that, which I probably should. And then same with Facebook. So it's just another way for you to develop friendships, not like with your viewers, with other booktubers. Like that is one of the main ways. Commenting on other people's videos is huge. Like that's how I met like all of my close booktube friends. That's how I met, you know, Heather and Beth and Cassidy and Jess and Reagan and Paige and like everyone. I can't even list everyone, but if you continuously comment on other people's videos and you tweet them and stuff like that, you're gonna get to know each other. Like we received some Christmas cards from some viewers and I recognized like almost everyone's name because you always comment on our videos, and I think that's amazing because I connect with that. So it's a great way to kind of build a nice connection and a nice friendship with your viewers and with other booktubers. So I highly recommend trying to be as active as you can in social media, you know, as much as you can. Like don't glue yourself to your computer all day long because that's not really good either. Another thing though, while we're on the topic of comments, something that I think you really need to know when you start a YouTube channel in general, and I find that the beauty community is much worse for this than the booktube community, but if you're new and you make a response video and you post that in somebody's comments, I think that's totally fine. But when you're new to booktube, I wouldn't recommend posting in somebody's comments of their videos, "I'm new, everybody, check me out. Hey, come watch my videos. I do this." It's kind of like self-promotion in somebody else's videos, and it doesn't really sit well with most people. Like I personally I don't really like it. If somebody comments to me saying, oh, I made a video about this as well, and they put the link there, I will always go and watch that video, like always. If you are putting a link in my comments, like if I did a top 10 video of the books I was most excited for 2015, and you're like, hey, I made a video about this too, check it out if you want to. I will always check that out, and I'm happy to do so. The comments that I'm talking about are when it has nothing to do with the video that that person has posted, and you're like, everybody watch my videos, everybody check me out, I'm new, and it's not really appropriate. And like I said, it doesn't happen that often, at least in my comments in Booktube, but it's really bad in the beauty community. And same with sending out private messages through YouTube. Like, I get a lot of like spam messages of people being like, oh, I've started a new channel, like check me out, like blah blah blah. I never watch those videos because it just doesn't sit well with me, and I think that's a pretty good consensus of like most people. Another thing, like I did say before, is building new friendships and stuff. Don't ask other people to promote for you, but when you start making friendships, like you're going to get mentioned. Another thing is to create a tag video, because then your name will get out there much faster. I've actually never created a tag video, but it is a really good way for people to like go and watch your videos or to hear your name. It all comes with time, and it comes with developing different friendships. You'll hear me say Beth June 327 like 1,000 times in 1 month, because Beth and I are friends, and I always talk about her channel because we're friends and because I think she's awesome. And it goes like the same for a lot of people who I talk about a lot, and then maybe even somebody will put you in a booktuber shout out video or something like that. So always focus on the friendships and not so much the subscriber count or your popularity. People will know, I guess everyone says this, but people can tell when you're just kind of out there for yourself. You're only in it for the subscribers. Well, that's kind of not the point. We all do YouTube because it's just something that we really enjoy, and we talk about books because we're passionate about books or whatever it may be. So I guess that's another thing to keep in mind. This video is all over the place. LOL, I never plan. Maybe that should be another tip. Plan your videos. I never do though, so I'm not gonna say that. Some other cool features to know about YouTube in general are that what I do is I pre-film a ton of videos, so you'll notice that I'm wearing like the same thing in a bunch of videos. I pre-film and then I edit beforehand, and then there's a schedule feature on YouTube, so if you don't have a lot of time to film, maybe you can only film like 1 day a week, that's fine. Just hammer out a few videos, and then you can like pre-upload them, and they will like upload into the YouTube world at the date and time and everything that you set them for. So if that's another excuse you have, is I just don't really have time, if I can do it, you can do it, because I work full-time and I have a life outside of work and YouTube, so I always find time to film, and I find pre-filming and then the pre-scheduled uploading to be really helpful as well. I don't know what else I should say about like filming setup. Like, I always use natural light. If you want to use natural light, sit in front of a big window. Natural lighting, I always think, is like the best lighting that you can use. Right now it's actually starting to get dark out, so my lighting is a little bit shady. But if you cannot film during the daytime, then you can get some artificial lights which work just as well. So there's an option for you as well. But I always find that lighting is kind of an important thing, because when the video is super dark, it kind of makes it hard to focus on what the video is about. So I personally, maybe that's just me, I personally like to watch videos where everything is kind of like illuminated. Jonathan Safran 4? No? Anybody? Oh, another thing that I did want to talk about is YouTube is getting very strict in terms of like if you're being sponsored or if you're getting something sent for free and things like that. If you do get anything for free, or if you do get paid by a company for any video, you have to 100% make sure that you put that down in your description bar or say it in your video. Typically, if I'm sent a book for free, I always say it in my video. I'll say, Untitled Teen sent me this book in trade for an honest review. I haven't been sponsored to make any videos, so what that means is that you're paid by a company to talk about a book or to talk about a product or to do a certain video. You always have to put that in your down bar. I'm doing this because you have to put it in the down bar down below. Keep that in mind if you ever run into being sponsored, because if you're caught by YouTube, your channel can be kind of cut off, which has happened to a lot of really popular YouTubers. And oh, before I go, one more thing I did want to say is about networks. Once you start a YouTube channel, you will be contacted continuously by networks. These networks are claiming, some of them are real, Most of them are not. These networks are claiming if you sign with them, you'll make more money than you just would with YouTube. Those networks, the real networks, are created for those YouTubers who have millions or hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That's who those are good for. If you don't have that many subscribers, I just had somebody come to buy some books for me actually, so I just had to run downstairs and I'm out of breath. Anyways, back to networks. Networks are created for those with hundreds of thousands to millions of subscribers. If you do not have that many subscribers, delete those emails. Just don't even read them. Because what happens with networks is they take control of your channel. You kind of lose your creative ability. A lot of times they're scams and they're literally just going to take your money. Never give anybody your banking information. Don't pay anyone for anything like that. Like, just don't do it. That is one huge piece of advice. Stay away from networks until you become a $1 million subscriber or a million subscribers kind of account. Whew. I'm so out of breath, I'm so out of shape. As you can see, the sun is going down even more and like my lighting is going out. So those I think are the main things that I wanted to talk about. Obviously there's some, obvious things to say, like if you're creating a channel, just be yourself. Don't try and act like another booktuber out there. Like everyone says, I see a lot of people like doing the Christine hair flip or the goodbye, which is like the cat thing. Like if you are starting your own channel, just be you, because why would you want to be anybody else? You just got to be you, and people are going to be attracted to that. People like when people are just being themselves. No matter what, you're always going to find someone out there who can relate to you and who really enjoys watching your videos. So just be you. It's much easier that way. So I think that those are the main things I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions for me about starting a channel, about editing videos, about how to work AdSense, about how to contact publishers, I don't know, maybe you want me to make a whole separate video on that. Let me know that down below as well. If you have any questions about YouTube or anything like that in general, please leave them down below. If you want some like in detail types of stuff, feel free to send me a message on YouTube or on Twitter. All of my information is down below, or send me an email. My email is always listed as well. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!